Welcome back to my channel, guys. So I'm sorry that I've been MIA. Pregnancy has definitely been a little bit tougher these last couple of days and week and a half. So yeah, I stayed in a hospital last week. Blood sugar was through the roof, hypertension issues, blood pressure, all that stuff was happening to me all at once last week. So I did not get to film a video like I had planned. I wanted to show you guys like what I was doing. But what I was doing then has definitely sort of changed now. So I'm going to try my best to make this video short and give you guys just like a brief update of what I've been doing so far. So I showed you guys this planner. I showed you guys what I was doing in this planner and like my intentions for why I set it up. It still holds the same purpose. You know, I still have the same sections. Nothing really changed. Over the course of like, this month, I had started, I want to say it was back last week, sometime a week before. So somewhere at the end of March and then going into the beginning of April, I started doing like this little to do, like an extra to do where I would check off the most important tasks from this list. And then I was tracking my water intake and sleep, and then sodium intake at the top. At the time, I was just tracking those three things. And then it went into, let's see, sometime last week, the end of last week, I went into the hospital. So although I was doing a little bit of back planning, I was actually in a hospital on these days. So I didn't really get to change things up until like really this day. And I'm on a strict schedule. So now when I sit down, instead of just, like scheduling out when I'm going to like do my checks, for other stuff, like I was taking like vitamins and stuff throughout the day. Now I have to plan around like when I'm gonna do my blood sugar checks and blood pressure checks, and also when I'm gonna time in snacks and stuff like that, and then my insulin shots. So I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes and extreme hypertension. My blood sugar was like 231, and my blood pressure has been fluctuating way over 140. So I have been tracking a consistent diet of like low sodium, low sugar, low carbs, but high calories and high protein. So on my sheets, when I got out of the hospital, I was still tracking my blood sugar checks. So at this point, I wasn't put on insulin just yet. So I was only tracking like my blood pressure, blood sugar, and sodium intakes. So that was the new thing that I started doing in here. Let's see if I can zoom you guys in. Hopefully that doesn't change too much or anything. I hope it doesn't become blurry. So on this page and on this page, I was pretty much writing out a schedule of like, okay, I'm going to eat breakfast here, because I had to time them pretty much perfectly so that my blood sugar at fasting wouldn't be super high. So I would like schedule out during the day when I'm going to do it, and then I had to schedule it around appointments. So that was technically like the only thing that I changed in my planning system. And then on this side, I was still tracking my water intake because I was struggling with that. I was tracking how much sleep I was getting, because at some points I would sleep longer and other points I would have like 4 hours of sleep. So I knew something was off because I felt off. And then of course I was tracking my sodium intake from my nutritionist. And then I have a sheet where I track my blood sugar and stuff like that. But I like to have a backup reference of it with both my blood sugar and blood pressure. So I do it in here because the copy that they gave me that stays in my blood sugar kit That one, I think they will eventually take at some point. So I want to keep track of it for myself. So I've been kind of doing it in here. Um, so I do like small codes. So F equals fasting, M is morning breakfast, A is afternoon lunch, and then E is evening dinner. So I take my blood sugar checks 4 times a day, and then blood pressure has kind of sort of the same codes as the other ones. So F would mean fasting, and then A afternoon, and E evening. So I take my blood pressure checks right around the times where I take my blood sugar checks. So I was doing that here and then mapping out like the ideal schedule so that everything would align. So I found that when I was doing this, I really needed a little bit more space because I liked doing the to do and then breaking down my to do list or breaking down things from this list and putting like the top to dos on, like a separate sheet and then checking them off. I really liked doing that. I really liked tracking my sleep and water intake because that was helpful when I was in a hospital. They loved the fact that I had all of this written down. But I did not like about this binder. What I did not like is that, and it's full of papers, and this is really how it looks for the most part every day because I just don't have time to, be neat and be pretty. Like I use my notepad, I write down like my blood pressure checks. This one is like full of stuff and yeah, I write down all of this and I just stick them in here, and whenever I need a scratch sheet of paper, that's what I do. But back on topic, I did not like lugging this around. You guys know it's a chunky planner. It's got, the double zip. It was not ideal to drag with me to the doctor. I still will use it. I still will back plan and all that stuff. I still need to do like back planning in here. I don't mind back planning. I just have a little bit on my plate right now that doesn't really allow me to do too much of extra stuff. But anywho, I saw on Amazon that Filofax was selling the dominoes really, really cheap, like the personal and pocket dominoes really, 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 really cheap. They usually go somewhere for about like 26 to almost 30. Well, where I'm from, Europe, so Germany, it was like 26 or 30, something euros. And I just didn't want to pay that at the time because I had just bought a $100 little binder. So I didn't want to pay that. So I waited and then I checked again and they were definitely drastically dropped. So I went and got this personal domino, and this is the one I've been kind of using. Here, I'll zoom you guys out one more time. This is the one I've been kind of using every day now. It's not super chunky. It's very compact. This is the one I take with me to the doctor. I also have a Moleskine expanded notebook, and my idea was to do something else with that. I haven't quite figured it out, but I do have one in the soft cover. So once I figure out what I'm doing with this, I'll definitely update you guys on that. But in here, I kept everything really, really basic. Like I have some important papers here tucked into this pocket. It's just information on how to do my insulin and the triage number. And I'm going to bypass that information because I do believe I wrote my phone number and stuff on there. So I kept it basic. I put, like a year overview in here, and then it goes straight into like the weekly inserts, and I'm just using it for like the appointments. I have 3 appointments this week. I had one yesterday, so this week was really busy. Plus I was in the hospital. I was in labor and delivery on Sunday. So I've had an appointment Monday. I'm off today, but I have appointments for the rest of the week, and hopefully everything is good to go when I go to these appointments so they don't admit me, because that was a nightmare, just being hooked up all day. I do have some to-do sheets in here, and they're just related to baby stuff. Um, I am in the midst of probably getting some steroid injections as well, to kind of help with my baby's lungs in case he does decide to come early. For those who don't know, I just hit my third trimester. I'm like 28 in 3 days, and we're trying to keep my baby in there until he's, at least termed. But I want to be prepared, so I've been writing out like crazy list of things he needs, taking hella notes for I take notes everywhere else too, like in my phone especially, but the stuff that I can write out. So I've been trying to figure out like a diet plan that I can follow, that will definitely, be enough calories for me and baby, high protein, low sugar, low carbs, and low sodium. It's very tricky to do because, like I'm not in the best of positions in my pregnancy. So I don't have the stamina to stand in the kitchen and cook all day, or, so whatever I make has to be easy. It has to be meal prepped and planned, and I still have to get all my vitamins and stuff like that. I was taking a total of like seven different vitamins, but yeah, the way I eat now versus how I was eating before all of this happened, I had to change a lot of stuff. So it's a lot. Anywho, I kept the Filofax dividers. Like I said, I wanted this to be very basic and just straight to the point, especially when I go to the doctor. I didn't want it to be too overstuffed like my other binder where I couldn't turn the pages. I did not mention that I was gifted a Happy Planner Classic, which I never show on this channel, but I use it to, it sits on my desk upstairs on one of the tables, and I use it to pretty much, whenever I get phone calls or whenever my husband tells me something, we typically just jot in, like the appointments or whatever's happening, we jot it in on that planner, and it just stays in that spot. I don't drag it around. I've never used a Happy Planner before. I don't even know how I feel about disc all that much, but that's pretty much what it is for. I did get gifted a notebook to go with it, but I don't really use the notebook because I have so many other ones. So what I did is took some of the dividers in it, cut them down into like the pocket or personal size, and laminated them. So I just took these two from the Happy Planner. Now, here's the difference in this binder than in the other binder. So I originally bought these personal inserts, these daily inserts to go in the other binder I just showed. However, I didn't like the cream color that the Filofax paper has, because the other paper that I have in my binder is like really, really white. So I set these aside, and then when I decided to order this, I went ahead and just plopped them straight in here. And I really do love these over the other dailies that I have in the other binder, because I don't have to draw the line. Everything is a lot better. I do have the little calendar down at the bottom, and there's not that extra phone and email thing down there. So that was great. So what I've been doing since the 8th is when I actually got admitted, but like I said, I've been back planning. So I started writing just my blood sugar and blood pressure on the pages, and of course my schedule for like when I'm going to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and like when my blood sugar checks are going to be. So pretty much I have taken out the water track, and I've taken out the sleep track and sodium intake, but I still need to track sodium. So, I mean, at least I do it in my phone. I can always go back and, like I said, back plan. I also use my Fitness Pal, which is really good if you want to track macros and like things that you eat. I pay for it. It's only like $10 a month, but it's a free app. You don't have to pay for it if you don't want to, but I pay for it to get all the features. But this is pretty much what I have been doing. And then I just have like a note section. I made this because I didn't want to take my flyleaf out of the other one. I just cut down like a plastic thing just to put here to divide the two. This is just like a top loading pocket with some things I might need. And then I have like all my like my cards and stuff in here. But I didn't want to show you the front because you know my other cards are in there. So this is very, very, very just straightforward, straight to the point, very basic. Like I said, I do have like note paper in here. I just used the Filofax note paper that it comes with. And then I have these trackers. I believe these are So Much Crafting trackers, but I had a couple of months left. I was gifted these. So I thought that I would just use them starting next month because I've already got tracker systems going. And yeah, that's pretty much my my update, my planning update. I really love how compact this is, and I'm enjoying that the fact that this is not so stuffed. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think, and if you have any questions, definitely leave them down below, and I will see you guys in my next video, hopefully. Bye, guys.